Today, I'm delighted to welcome Catherine Hammond, an award winning attorney, author, and speaker who helps people live better lives and leave better legacies. Catherine and I got to know each other through heroic public speaking, and we instantaneously connected. Her depth, her heart, her way of integrating her purpose and compassion into work and life, that resonated with me deeply. So, that day itself, when Catherine, you and I met, I wanted to bring you here on our Mindful Momentum Leadership podcast. Before we begin, just a little bit more. You are a founder of Hammond Law Group. You guide families through maze of planning and navigating disability and death. You've created TrueWealth Family Legacy System. It's your trademark system, which is redefining wealth to include not just financial capital, but human capital. And that's another place where we connected deeply. It is not just the wealth we pass on, but our wisdom, our compassion, our experiences, our stories, and the connections. So, with that, I'd love to invite you to this podcast. And I want to actually start with a line from your own book, or three lines from your own book. And this is from your Hopeless, Creating a Hope Filled Life No Matter the Circumstances. That's your new book. You also have another book, The True Wealth Family Legacy Blueprint. But let's just bring this one, the newer book, and I want to read a few lines. Just because you are in pain doesn't mean there is no hope. Just because you are scared doesn't mean there is no hope. You can stop feeling hope, stop experiencing hope, but the truth is, you are never out of hope. I'm so glad you're here.
Yes, me too. It is such a pleasure to be with you, Anu. And to clarify, the Hope book is actually the one that came out 3 years ago. And the True Wealth Family Legacy Blueprint is the brand new one. So, yeah.
Okay, it's the other way around.
Yes. And they're both so near and dear to my heart because really my work with families, the new book, the True Wealth Family Legacy Blueprint, is about helping families. I mean, the way that I describe it is create more intergenerational wholeness at each level of the family. And that's really about coming back to more hope. So families and the individuals within the families are experiencing more hope, which is something that applies, yes, in our family lives, yes, in our individual lives. And you have a lot of years of leadership experience. I know you know this really applies in our leadership and entrepreneurial lives. Those journeys are not any less complicated than our families or our personal relationships.
Yeah. And then, as you're saying this, that wholeness is all of us, whether we are, in our family structure at home, or we are at work, or we are interacting with a checkout clerk in a shop. That's what we are creating experiences and legacy everywhere we are going in some ways.
Absolutely. Every single interaction. And I think since I really realized that, since I started my research towards this book a couple of years ago, I started realizing that every single interaction that I have with my daughters and with my grandchildren is a creation of legacy. And the other thing that I realized is every interaction, this one came later, every interaction that I have with somebody else, it is also part of creating that legacy. And it, even if it seems completely unrelated to the people who are my descendants, it will have it has a ripple, every interaction we have has a ripple impact, right? Through our families, through our other relationships. If I'm having a conversation with a friend or a colleague, that ripple effect, yes, can impact their life, and my legacy it flows in that direction. And it also changes me. And as it changes me, that then also ripples into my descendants.
And you changed me. Catherine, in our conversations, when we were at Heroic, we started talking about legacy. And I was thinking of legacy very differently as a first generation immigrant. The one of the reasons when you move from your home country is for prosperity and abundance. Our definition then is wealth.
Absolutely.
And that's where, in my conversations, I started to recognize that sometimes in our pursuit of that safety, success, wealth, are we sacrificing happiness, memories, presence, experiences
Mm,
along the way?
mm. Yeah, such an important question, Anu. Um, and that's the question I think we need to hold, because I mean, really, why we come to a new country like that, or why we want to leave money to our descendants, even if we originated in this country, is not when we go, beneath the surface into the deeper layers of it. We want that money to do something for us and for our children and our grandchildren. We want it to give us better lives. And so the question is, how, I invite people to broaden that question to the question of, how do I give my family what they most need? How do I really help them thrive in the world? And yes, money can be a part of that. And it's a really important part. We have to have, that basic level of security. And there's a whole lot more that goes into giving ourselves and our loved ones what we really need to fully thrive and be all of who we can be and came to be in this world.
And it seems like that is the very tension your work with True Wealth is addressing, isn't it?
Yes. And so, as you know, I've been practicing law for more than 30 years. And so I have been, sitting in my office doing estate planning. And I came to estate planning in a very heartfelt and genuine way. My mother had early onset Alzheimer's. And so when I was 22, I had to put her into a nursing home. And in order to get her there, I had to hire a lawyer and drag her to court and ask permission to take care of her, and then get, the court's approval for her financial affairs every single year after that. And so I came to the profession of law inspired by the attorney who had helped me. And so, I started practicing 30 some years ago, and I've been helping people put together great estate plans to transfer, both their financial capital and then also their personal property, all of those personal possessions that we have. And it wasn't until, I'll say, the last 5 years that I really started to see something, that when my clients passed away with these great estate plans, it didn't necessarily mean that their family, one, felt taken care of, or two, really thrived after they were gone. And these are families where, a lot of them are leaving $1 million or more to each child. And so I started asking the question, what is it that really does help a family thrive? And that was where my research started a couple of years ago. And I almost got a psych degree. I thought about becoming a clinical psychologist. I have that in my family. And so it's always been there. But the things that have surprised me around legacy and wealth have been all of the other things that go into helping our families thrive.